And here we go. Oh, yay! Everyone's in the house already. I love it. That's so good. And for once, I didn't have to fight with the sound. Hooray! Joyce says, "Happy Hump Day!" We have reached the hump. We're over the hump, right? We're getting through this week. And so far, it's actually been a really fun week because we've been hanging out and it's been fun. So that is so, I don't know, can you guys like weigh in here today and tell me, is this making your week better? Because it's definitely making my week better. So thanks for being here. Joyce says, my daughter reminded me. Yay. And Kathy says, so very happy to be here. There you go. Mom and daughter in the house. That's awesome. So Alexandra says, hi, welcome everyone. My name is Alice Bull and I run the membership group at scraphappy.org. If you have been looking for a scrappy community of people that love to scrap, want to do challenges, want to make maybe a few more pages, then come check us out. We're at scraphappy.org and it's super fun. We have an upcoming challenge really soon called the Load Challenge, and I'm kind of going to give you not a sneak peek behind the upcoming one because that's against the rules and I'm not breaking the rules. No. But I will give you a peek into the layouts that I made for the last challenge, and that'll help you kind of understand the whole concept behind Load. If you're one of my Scrap Happy gals, you might have seen some of this stuff already, and hopefully you're just like, oh my gosh, this is why I do this, because that is how I feel every time we do one of these challenges. Danielle says, I love these live videos. Weekends are sad with this to look forward to. So that is so fun. Oh my gosh. I need a little bit of time to spend in my PJs. Let's just say I need to spend a little time in my PJs. And so I totally chill on weekends. I actually didn't even do almost any work this past weekend. I kind of felt guilty by the end of the weekend. Oh, thank you so much. I see the thumbs up coming in. Alexander says, watching while tidying up my studio because it has sort of exploded. Let's just say I'm not turning this camera. We're not going there. We are not going there. And Diane says, yes, this is nice. Sheila says, I don't know what I'll do with myself when these end. Well, Sheila, come and join us for the Load Challenge. You'll have so much fun scrapbooking. And I'm going to confess, I'm going to have a hard time letting this go. So maybe this won't be the end. Hint, hint, hint. Sneak, sneak, sneak. I can't say that I'll be going every weekday. But I'm looking at what my calendar in May will actually allow me to do because I have enjoyed this like so much. So yay. Danielle says, sorry, I mean to say, without this to look forward to. Oh yeah, I know. It's so much fun. I understood. We know where you're going. Okay. So Sandy says, hello, welcome. Christy's here for a few minutes. Welcome. Today, we're going to kind of go deep diving into the world of Load, the Layout a Day Challenge. For me, okay, so let's give you a little bit of backstory. Sheila says, I'm holding you to that. Oh, no, it's really happening now. You know how this all happens, right? I say something out loud so that I can make it happen. That's literally, that's my way. So now you know. And Sharon is saying hi. Danielle says, you deserve to have days off, Alice. I hope you rested. I did. Although then we went and got chickens and now we're incubating eggs and I have a chicken house full of some ladies and they haven't started laying eggs. Those are lazy chickens. No, they're in a new home. They have to adjust and then they'll start laying some eggs. But like, seriously, get to it, chickens. Okay, so yeah, the world of Load, the Layout a Day Challenge. So I did not start the Scrap Happy family. That's what we call ourselves, the Scrap Happy family. I didn't start the group, but I was a member of the group and I didn't join the group until I did a load challenge. So load layout a day. When I first heard of that, actually, okay, here's the thing. When I first heard of making a layout a day for an entire month, I'm like, like, seriously, I kind of spit. Sorry. Like, I know we're social distancing. You're lucky. Like, you don't have to experience that up close and personal. But, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's not even a real thing. Like, people don't scrapbook every single day. Since then, I've met, like, so many people that actually do. And I'm like, oh, apparently it was, like, me. I was the problem. But, yeah, like, the idea of scrapbooking every day, I'm like, well, that's crazy. But I looked at it and I said, what if I do some pages and I don't do every single day, but I do some of it? Like, I'll probably do more than I would normally do in a month. And all of that is just, Sandy said, most of us reacted that way. And I would probably do more than I really realized that I was even capable of. And if I do more than I normally would in a month, then I kind of win, right? Like, every story that I'm telling on my pages, every page I get scrapped, that's kind of a win. It's like, go Alice, go Alice. You can do it. You can do it. So here, let me go. Sound effects. It's like this big celebration. Yay, big celebration, right? Like, whenever you manage to actually get some pages scrapped, that's a great thing. And I really like digging into some stories and telling stuff about my life, but I more so liked the idea of that. Let's be real. I was really not good at journaling. Telling good stories on pages was a struggle. I was the queen of making the pretty page and leaving the journaling for later, because somehow I figured that much later, or, even a little bit later, I was going to have a much better take on how to tell those stories. Did that happen? No, of course it didn't. Of course it didn't. So I struggled with that. So I signed up for a whim. It was like one of the first things I'd ever done online was this load challenge. I was like, oh my God, I'm paying somebody money online. Is that even a thing? And I laugh about that now. It's like, here, money, take my money, send me things. I love it. But yeah, that was like one of the first things I had ever purchased online was the load challenge. And throughout that month of load, the prompts got me to engage with stories that I wanted to tell. And oh my gosh, did that change the way I scrapbooked. And I really, really love it. So April says, that's how I approach it. I enjoy the interaction, the cheerleading of others, and any layouts I make are more than I would have otherwise. So it's all positive. Sadie says, I always tell people that exact thing when they ask me about it. Some is way better than none. April says, and if you tell different kinds of stories for load, then when you're left to yourself, I love the stories that the prompts have sparked. Some of my very best pages, and I'm just putting this out there, have been made during the challenge. So I just wanted to kind of give you perspective as to what that looks like and how that goes. Amy says, I picked my story for my guest designer page for load, but I still need to make it. That's right. We have people making their pages, some already done, some being sent to me. I'm having like a little glitch with my email today, which is not a good time. It's totally unrelated to this other stuff. It's like, why? Like, some days I swear technology hates me, but that's not true. It's just, it does this to everybody, right? It's not just picking on me. Okay, so let's talk about how we work the load challenge now. So over the years, like I took over ScrapHappy membership in 2016. Oh my gosh, like seriously, it's like been that long. Like March of 2016 is when I was like officially the leader of the group, and so fun. I was member of the group before, so I knew how great it was, and I kind of fought for it. Not that I had to fight, I just had to put myself out there, which was also really scary, guys. But I through the years, these load challenges have really helped me to tell stories, and I wanted to make sure that that was not lost and that this continues so that more of us can tell more of our stories and make pages that we love. So if my one goal in the world, okay, is for people to make pages with stories about their lives and to make pages that you love. That's it. That's it. If I can accomplish that, then I win, right? Because Lisa says I love load. So, yay, me too. So, over the years, we've had some of the prompts. So every day or every month that we do a load challenge, we do 3 in a year. We do 1 in February, 1 in May, and 1 in October. And the ones in February and May are open to other people to come and join us. You can register just for the load challenge. And the one in October is only for members. So we keep that one exclusive. And we actually do it by the members for the members. So that's an extra fun thing. We get more people involved in coming up with the theme and coming up with the prompts and just the whole thing. It's super fun. Lisa says happy Earth Day. So sorry, I didn't even realize, but happy Earth Day. So there we go. Yeah, so we get more people involved. So we call them, they're numbered. So the one we have coming up is Load 520, Load 520, because it's in May of 2020. And the one we just had was in February, so it was Load 220. So that's the whole nomenclature or numerology. I don't know what that is. That's our numbering system. And so that kind of explains why they're called what they're called. And every month we have a theme. So that's kind of like our guiding theme, the whole idea for the month. And I think that's a super fun way to approach it. We've had some really fun ones in the past. Since I have taken over, we've done one based on Greek mythology. We did one telling personal stories. It was called Up Close and Personal. We did one based on movies. We've done, oh my gosh, like it has been incredible. And the one that we just did, was inspired by Harry Potter. Now, I am kind of a Harry Potter nerd. You may not know this about me, but I am kind of a Harry Potter nerd, and I love it. Are the load classes during the day? The way it works is you actually, you get an email. The prompt is sent out to you. There's a little short video so that you can get the gist of the prompt. I kind of tell you a backstory about the idea. So when we were going through Harry Potter, I'll actually give you some examples of exactly what we did. And then every day it's a challenge for you to create your layout. And then we share all of our layouts in a private gallery. And you get to see how other people have used the same prompt. Now, if the prompt doesn't work for you, Tom Hanks, like T Hanks a lot. Oh my God, that's so good. That was a good one. We have had so many good, so many good themes. Last year we also did Ruby Red Scissors based on The Wizard of Oz. And so, every day you get a little video plus the written prompt, plus there's an example layout using the prompt. And then it's your job to go off and create your page. And you get like 27 hours because we kind of give you the prompts a little early the night before, and you get like the full day until midnight the next day. We base it all off of Pacific time, right? Midnight Pacific time. Your pages are due at midnight Pacific time. You can do any kind of scrapbooking. Lisa says digital layouts. Yeah, you can do digital layouts. You can do pocket page spreads. You can do traditional stuff. You can go hybrid. You can do use your Project Life app. Like, it doesn't matter. If you make a page and it's a scrapbook page, it's a page. So it's totally cool. If you make a card, that's not a page. So, that's kind of like the line. Is it a scrapbook page? Then it's good. And you don't even have to use the prompt. The goal of Load is to scrapbook a layout a day. That's Load. Layout a day. And so it's a really fun way to actually get your stuff going. Wynell is testing comments. It's working. I can see it. So let's kind of peek into the whole to give you like a really good idea of how it works, let's have a look at some of the prompts. Yeah, April says, I've done Traveler's Notebook pages. That's totally cool, right? Because that totally works. Okay, let's have a look at some of the layouts that I made, and I'll tell you about the prompts. I'll actually like kind of give you like almost like the whole back scene behind Load 220 Memories Managed, which was Harry Potter, super fun. And when else, as I watched from the sidelines to see what everyone else did for all the first load challenges that I signed up for. In 2018, I participated in all the load challenges and told so many stories. Thanks. Yay. That is like the best news. Like every time I hear that people are accomplishing telling their stories, that is such a big win for me. That is just, it's a big win for you too, but like I take extreme excitement in that. Okay, so let's do a split here and I will show you some pages. Now, I did bring out this like white thing here, so hopefully my camera is not going to be like fighting with us today to try to focus. I'm going to bring this down a little bit and let's see if I can go a little bit right here so we can see a little bit of everything. Perfect. And April says, I've also used past load prompts for inspiration when I go to an away scrap retreat. So as a ScrapHappy member, you get access to all of the load prompts forever. If you just sign up for a challenge, you get 18 months with those prompts, and then your access goes away. It's just part of running our program and our software. But yeah, if you are a member, you get access to all the old ones. So even if you come into ScrapHappy now, you can go through and do all these challenges. Like there's at least 4 years on there, probably more. There's actually more because the ones that were by the members for the members are also in there from even before I was running the group. So yeah, there's a lot. So this first page here, I think we've seen it this month as we've chatted. Our prompt was about the boy who lived. And in the beginning of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, a baby boy named Harry Potter is left on the steps of his aunt and uncle's home after his parents are killed. He was attacked by a powerful wizard named Voldemort and is the only known survivor of the killing curse. Harry is left with a lightning bolt-shaped scar on his forehead and becomes known as the boy who lived. Harry later finds out that the reason he lived is because of his mother's sacrifice. She died while trying to protect him. He was saved by his mother's love. For your story. So that's kind of like the little backstory, and I always give you a little bit of backstory about the prompt just so you kind of understand. We had so many people that were like, Alice, I don't know anything about Harry Potter. I don't watch it. I haven't read it. I just know that it's a thing and it's everywhere. But I know nothing about this. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's not about Harry Potter. Like, I know that's our theme, or that was our theme back in February, but it's not about Harry Potter. It's not about scrapbooking about Harry Potter, although we did have a lot of people scrapbooking about Harry Potter things throughout the month, but it's more about telling your story. So here's where that happens. For your prompt today, for your story, scrapbook a page about someone you love. For technique, use circles on your layout to symbolize Harry's circular spectacles. Bonus if you can sneak a lightning bolt on your layout too. So I didn't even get a lightning bolt on my page. I did use a couple of little circles. And, you know, I always look at the prompt and I think I'm going in the direction of the prompt. And sometimes I go like, and I end up a little prompt adjacent. That's a thing. But yeah, so then I created this page about me and my husband. And we've got a lot of love pages, so this one doesn't have a big story behind it or anything. But, you know, every once in a while, I just do a page about love. I think I'm going to wear that shirt one of these days. It's super cute. And yeah, so that was the page that I had created for that prompt. The next day was different. It was about no mail today. So that was the prompt, no mail today. Uncle Vernon tried to stop the owls from delivering Harry's invitation to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. No post on Sundays. Perhaps It's more of something. Oh, were you more successful than Uncle Vernon? I said. Did it happen I've skipped a line. Sorry, guys. No post on Sundays, he happily said to his family. Story. Have you ever tried to prevent something from happening? So, yeah, like I said, it's not about Harry Potter. It's about this. So, have you ever tried to prevent something from happening? Did it happen anyway? Were you more successful than Uncle Vernon? Perhaps it's more of something that you resisted rather than prevented. And so I kind of try to inspire you so that you're thinking about how does this prompt relate to a story from my life? And I try to kind of give you a little bit of leeway and flexibility so that it's not just leading you to like necessarily one thing. Some of the prompts, like people have literally made like multiple pages using the same prompt. So yeah. Yeah, so fun. April says, I also use, I read that. Okay, yeah, just checking. I want to forget stuff here. And so, yeah, examples may include, but they're definitely not limited to, using anti-wrinkle cream, wishing your kids would stay little, becoming an empty nester, resisting getting a pet. For technique, use feathers or postage symbols on your layout today, or perhaps a resist technique. And so this is the page that I had created, and it's about my son's lovable, pinchable cheeks. And I miss those cheeks so much, guys. I just used to grab his little cheekies and squeeze those cheeks, and they were so freaking cute. And I even managed to sneak a little postage kind of stamp into the layout, so I was able to actually take part in both of the prompts. And you totally don't have to. I think it's just like an option. Some people go story, some people go technique, some people do both, and some people just chuck it out and just do their own thing. Like February, we see a lot of people completing December dailies. So they're getting their Christmas scrapbooks done. In May, we tend to see more people that are gearing up for travel, like maybe holidays or trips or something that they did throughout the winter. They're kind of catching up on some of that, but it really just depends on what you need to do or what you like, if you have a project that you want to complete. So I'm not going to go like deep into every single one, but this one was talking about finding out that you're a wizard, Harry, was kind of the thing. It's that shocking news. And this one was about finding out something about yourself that was surprising, or that explained something about your life experience. And I had made this one about personality testing. Okay, anybody here? Are you a fan of personality testing? Because I love it. I love personality testing. I'm so bad. I totally love it. And I've done different things. So in the colorful personalities thing, I am a green. In the Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies, I am an obliger. In the Enneagram, I'm an Enneagram 7, but I'm actually a 7 wing 8. And in the, what is the last one? Myers-Briggs thing, I'm an ENTJ. So those are parts of me. And none of them actually seem to be like that perfect fit. There was always something about me that was like, oh, that's so not this, and that's so not that. But when you combine it all together, it's like, oh, that's like they wrote the book about me when you bring all of them together. And I really wanted to do that with this page, is bring all of that together. April says, yep, I love reading about that stuff. Okay, so pick a thing. Have you done the colors? What color are you? Have you done Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendency? What's your tendency? Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, give us the stuff. April says she's a rebel. And she's an INFP. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Jane says my favorite part is the stories that it brings out. So many stories on pages that would never have been told. I know, I just love it so much. So did I give you guys a sneak? Did I tell you what we're actually doing in May? I don't think I told you. I'm so bad. so bad. In May, we have a new topic, and it is not Harry Potter. It is the Beatles. I'm so pumped because I didn't know that much about the Beatles. I have to confess. I was not a Beatles expert. I was born in 1977. 42 years old. You don't have to do the math, I'll tell you. But, I didn't grow up in the era of the Beatles music. I missed out on Beatlemania. But I think that all of these things are fascinating. And as I learn about a topic to prepare for a load challenge, I kind of do a pretty deep dive into the whole thing. So here is our load graphic. This is what we are going to be doing. It is Abby Load. It is inspired by the Beatles. It is not open for registration. So I'm not actually even just trying to sell you here today. We're not open for registration yet. It's coming soon. We're getting a few little tweaks done on the website. I want to make sure everything's running really smooth before I bring people in. Lauren says she hasn't done one of those challenges. And Myers-Briggs, D, strong D. And Jacqueline says she's an obliger. She's an Enneagram 4. She's ISFJ. Oh my gosh, these are super fun. And Sandy says, I often pick a group of pictures to do and just do them regardless of the prompts, but I'm excited about this prompt. So yeah, I think the theme of the Beatles is super fun. A lot of the songs just led into prompts so easy. It was super fun. I will say I'm kind of a little proud of this artwork. I kind of did that one myself. I did that through using my Procreate app on my iPad, which, I said I was going to learn how to do. And I finally have done enough that I can say I know a little bit. I know a little bit. And I'd come up with the idea of drawing these different Beatles. I made them as much as possible resemble the idea behind the Beatles Abbey Road album cover. John Lennon's in the front and he's wearing white. And then we have Ringo, he is next and he's wearing black. And then we have Paul McCartney, he's kind of wearing a grayish kind of suit. And then in the back we've got George and he's got his jean kind of stuff on, right? And I thought it was super fun. And then, it's kind of a fun thing because we get our Beatles carrying a scrapbook. I'm pointing at stuff with my mouse. That's hilarious. I'm totally pointing at it with my mouse. So we got a Beatle carrying a scrapbook. One of them has an adhesive tape runner. an adhesive tape runner. And one of them has a lovely pair of scissors. One of them is carrying a Cricut machine, which I was like, I snuck an extra Beatle into the picture, guys. And then, of course, we got the Beatle car in the picture, too. So I was just kind of laughing about that. Diane says, Meet the Beatles album was my first record purchase. $4.95. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, Sandy says, I love the new site for sharing. So we did some updates in January and we added our own gallery so we don't have to go off site to share. We added new forums so that we can talk right there all together. Everything is all in one kind of thing. There was comments. There was a few things that didn't work out the way I wanted it to be. So we're looking at doing it better. And that's just kind of my goal with it is if something is not right, let's just tweak it to make it better. Or if we have to actually fix something, let's just fix it and do it right. I want it to be perfect. April says the play on words is perfect. I love it. And so that is the thing. It's coming up, but it's not yet. Don't worry, I will tell you. And since you're going to be probably already on my email list, right? You already did this, right? We got this wrong every time. We got this taken care of already, right? Like this email list thing. Then you may already be subscribed and you'll get the first information about it. Anyways, yeah, so I just love how the stories kind of happen. Let's see. Day number 4 that we did was kind of birthday inspired. So that led to me making a birthday page. And the next one was inspired by Diagon Alley. And it was about a moment of awe and wonder. And I got really tongue-in-cheek, right? And I was like, awe and wonder. This is a giant kubasa sausage. And that is me standing right there, like inside the thing. So, what, it's kind of like I was in awe, all right. And I sure wondered one or somebody would make a giant kubasa sausage. Like, I like to play with that kind of thing. Thank you, Gal. She says, such a great graphic. Well, I had good material to work with. Like that image of the 4 guys crossing the crosswalk. So good, right? How much does load cost? So Diane, load used to cost $50 for the month. And we did a special promo rate in February of $35. I gave everybody the special deal, especially since I had to do all these little tweaks along the way to fix things up on the site. But this year, our cost has gone up to $65, and part of that is that the cost of load has never changed. So it has gone up to $65, which is still like about the cost of a coffee every day. So I was like, that sounds okay. I think it's good. But if you're on my email list, I will have a little bit of I'll have some coupons and stuff going out. So that's a good place to be if you want to get a slightly better deal than that. But yeah, the new price for load is $65 for the month. Okay, next up after that, we talked about magic wands and the wands choosing the wizard. And then we talked about creating a page about discovery. And perhaps it was something that you thought would be simple to find and then wasn't, or vice versa. And I had created this page about my love of bags because I think my husband started calling me a bag lady after he saw this. So I thought it was fun. And we, I tie as many of the prompts together. So like the wands are made out of wood. So we used wood grain on the page and stuff like that. Yeah, April says, and if you're a ScrapHappy member, you get it in your membership. It's totally included in ScrapHappy membership. So membership is $149 for your first year, and then renewals are $99 a year. And you get access to all of the load challenges, all of the monthly events and stuff that we do. We do a sketch challenge. Like, we've got a lot of stuff going on within the membership. So April's like, Alice, how much is ScrapHappy membership? Thank you. Thank you for asking. Like, you guys are so sweet. I have a hard time promoting. Just putting it out there. I have a hard time promoting. We're doing amazing things, but I have a hard time saying, come and, just struggle. It's a struggle. It's real. Draco Malfoy. So you guys have seen this page if you've been here a few times. At least it's not I'm all about the Beatles. Oh my gosh. Like I was so excited. Like when I come up with the idea, I'm like, we need to do one about the Beatles, inspired by the Beatles. And I'm like, it's gonna be so good. So good. Yeah. It's gonna be good. That's all I want to say. I can't sneak peek at all of it. So Draco Malfoy. So if you know the Harry Potter story, you might be like, ooh, what do you do when you do a page about Draco Malfoy? Like, he's kind of like the bad guy. He's like Harry's nemesis, right? And so we actually talked about that. Have you ever had a nemesis? Perhaps you have something else that you don't like that can be featured. And I even put in like a little sneak there that said, would you like onions with that? Because I totally hate onions. So I had done this page, no onions, and definitely no cilantro. And I just think that was like a super fun way to look at taking a prompt from a nemesis into creating a scrapbook page about something. And we had some pretty funny stories that were happening in there. And then for technique, use the tension of dark versus light on your layout and create a split page, half light and half dark. And so that led to my split page with like the chip paper and then the dark of the red. And I thought that was extra fun. So now you guys are kind of getting how these prompts work, right? So, Sheila, she says, this is totally off topic, but my husband just told me he was going to trim up his crazy long beard himself because he can't wait anymore to see his hairdresser. If you hear a scream, it's me. That's awesome. See, this is why we need to do live events. It's so good. Jane says, plus, with ScrapHappy membership, you get all the benefit of the supportive scrapbookers who become friends. And like, that is so much the truth. It is so real. And every year until this year, we actually do an in-person live reunion. It's like our family reunion, we call it. And it has been just like I look forward to it so much every year. I'm like a little heartbroken this year, but I have a new plan. Always, right? Like, I am like the queen of plan B, plan C. Like, if we can't do this one thing, I will find something else fun for us to do. And so I'm already working on that behind the scenes right now. And, but yeah, getting together with our ScrapHappy sisters and getting together with our friends, like, it has been so much fun. I like to bring some teachers in to teach us some fun stuff and get us doing some fun projects. I like to make sure we get a few fun things to take home as presents. And just the weekend of hanging out together. And then because that was so much fun, actually the first ones that I attended when I was a member of ScrapHappy and not leading it, I went to places, but then because I didn't have extra days to go and explore. And I'm like, well, what do you go and do and explore by yourself? Like, I totally would now, but at the time it was like, I'm going to travel to something by myself. That was a big deal. So I kind of went to these places and then I left and I didn't actually get to see stuff and go and really experience it and explore. So what I have now done is say, as an optional bonus day, which, you know, you should all stay for, we're going to go and do this fun thing. And so we've done that. Last year, everyone came up to Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm in Whitecourt, so that's like 5 hours from here, which, you know, hop in the car and I was off on my way and it feels like it's in my backyard. And it was so fun. We spent the weekend in Calgary scrapbooking. We had a mobile scrapbooking truck come and bring their stuff so that we could scrapbook together and shop on site. And that was super fun. Then we had another shop that came and set up a pop-up shop for us. And we did a class with them and like local companies in Calgary that were making product sent stuff to be using in our classes. It was so fun. Are all these events over the weekend? Yeah, we did it over a weekend in July last year. Usually it's usually in July. And so we got together Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then last year on the Monday, we actually went out to Banff, to the mountains, the Rocky Mountains. And we booked group tickets to go up the tram so we could go up to the top of the mountain. And it was amazing. It was so fun. April's like, Calgary was so fun. Jane, oh my gosh, she was there. Like, we just had so many of our ScrapHappy sisters together. What was there, like 18 of us, I think? And yeah, it was so fun. Why now, says April, I was just thinking the same thing. So many stories to be told. April said, my husband trimmed Ethan's hair on Sunday with my kitchen scissors. At least it's not in his face anymore. When this is over, we can laugh about it. We'll need to scrap quarantine grooming challenges. Oh my gosh. I did cut my son's hair once through this, my oldest son, but I cut his hair like for years as he grew up. So for me, it was just like, oh, I get to cut your hair again. I'm like, I'm not a hairdresser, so I'm like making stuff up as I go, but he looks presentable, so I did okay. Yeah, so let's just go through a couple more pages. This one is inspired by platform 9 3/4. This is us in Banff. Like, this is so perfect, you guys. Like, I couldn't have like made that time better if I had tried. Danielle says Banff was one of my favorite things I did all last year. So this is us in Banff, and there we are at the top of the mountains, and I'm back there. April's over here. Here's Jane and Danielle and her mom Dolores. We got Misty. There's Deetra, Deborah, Jacqueline, Dee, Emmeline, Allison, and Karen. And that was all of us together. And actually Monica was on the trip with us, but she didn't do the Banff day with us. Was that she the only one that didn't do Banff day with us? Or did I miss somebody else? But oh my gosh, yeah, so much fun. Sheila says, I still hear the buzzing. It seems to be taking longer than trim. He's being extra careful. Because like you take off a little bit, right? Because you can't add it back on. So you go really gentle. You take a little bit. And then you're like, no, I can go a little more. Take a little more. So yeah, this was inspired by platform 9 3/4 in the Hogwarts Express. And it's talking about, do you have an adventurous spirit, or do you prefer to stay close to home? And then this was a combination technique one, because it was like, let your page reflect this part of you with an adventure theme, or choose symbols of home to make your page warm and cozy. So it was kind of like prompt, story, and technique all mashed together. And I was like, ooh, that's super fun. So that was, that was a super fun thing this summer. Okay, so this is my little sad like moment here. This summer we were supposed to go to Park City. It had a fabulous hotel lined up. Little sad. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sandy says I have a picture of myself on platform 9 3/4 in England. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I know. We have Harry Potter jealousy. You and me both, April. I know. So, yeah, super fun stuff. Our next prompt was about Harry's friends, Ron and Hermione. And Sandy says, I'm such an introvert. I don't know if I would have fun or just feel awkward. You know, Chantel wasn't there either. She had gone back early. Who else? It's surprising. Sorry, distracted. Joyce said, all this talk has made me desire butterbeer. Oh, girl. I agree. The things, I would say that we had several gals in this group that actually are introverts. And it's surprising. Oh, did I say Libby? Libby was there back there. But yeah, we had several gals in the group that are introverts and really quite shy people. And I think it was just really interesting to kind of see how that dynamic changed through the weekend, right? Because when we set up our tables, we have everybody mixed together. And of course, like some people, they came with somebody else, and so they kind of sit together. But we set the tables up in a really good way that you can have plenty of space to scrapbook, but then you also have like people that are close enough to really chat with and get to know. And I think that was an amazing part of this as well. Like, was that, you kind of develop those relationships. And I think scrapbooking, it's so personal, right? Like, we look at people's pictures, we're hearing stories about their lives, we're really getting to do all of those things. And I think that, it's one of the most touching things about scrapbooking is it's a very personal thing. And I think that throughout the weekend, because we do everything together, like we have breakfast at the hotel and we have our meals, we go off on little adventures, and of course if you want time to yourself, you just take it. Like, it's totally fine. It's not like I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not like super strict where you must do all these things, right? But it becomes that time to really get to know people. I know, and I know she's fine with me saying this because she's actually shared it on video with us before. Misty, when she came, she said, I didn't have friends that scrapbooked, and that the being part of the group has totally changed that. And coming here to experience this has changed that so much. And now I feel so much more connected, and I feel like I have people that understand. Like, that's what she had said, and it was like, oh. Jacqueline says, I got to sit next to April and meet her for the first time. Yeah, and I think like all of the relationships. Danielle says, Sandy, you would have fun with even without knowing anyone. But when we call ourselves a Scrap Happy family, we mean it. Family is family. Yeah, and it's like we're not like leaving anybody out. We're not leaving anybody behind. And, you know, everybody is welcome to kind of do everything together. And that's how I build the weekend, because I don't want to just have, like, you can have a retreat weekend where you go and you make pages or you take classes, but we call it a reunion for a reason, because we want people to build relationships and get to know each other. And we can build those relationships online as we hang out together and we get to know more about each other. Like, this has been so fun, like getting to know people that aren't in our Scrap Happy family, right? Getting to know like Kathy and Joyce, and getting to know some of the other people that are here all the time. But I think that, you know, through the group, we've really built those connections, and I don't know, I find that really valuable. It really makes it fun for me. So, because I'm working with real people, right? And I'm here to inspire people, and it's like, it really does feel like a group of friends. But it's friends that really get it. Like, how many people have, I don't know, like, I'll confess, like my mom. My mom, I love her, but she's like, yeah, I'm so glad that you like your scrapbooking thing. I don't do that, but I'm so glad that you like it. And, you know, I wish that we had that to share. And I see people that share it, like Kathy and Joyce on here, like Danelle and Dolores here, like the people that I see sharing that with their mom. I have a little bit of like, I'm turning a little green. I'm a little jealous. Like, I wish I could share that with my mom, that passion for the storytelling and the creating and stuff. We connect over different things, so we're good. But I love having friends that really get it. April says, there are no clicks. Other retreats have been a little clicky that you've been to. Yeah, and I've been to some different things where, you know, if you don't scrapbook in the right style, then you're kind of on the outside. And if you don't, yeah. Well, there's a couple people that weren't here. Kathy's also not in there. Danelle says, LS, my mom still won't call herself a scrapbooker. I know, like, it kind of is a word with a stigma, right? Lisa says, I would love to have a trip somewhere. Yeah, we were going to head to Park City, which I fell in love with last fall. I went to Teresa Collins. She hosted like a dual event. It was a Live Your Story, kind of like an empowerment sessions, and with amazing speakers. I was like so happy about it. I kind of went like thinking, yeah, well, I don't know. But my friends were going, so I went with them. I'm like, okay, sure. And then I was there for the Create Your Story, which was the creative part of the event. And by the end of it, I was actually like loving so much on the empowerment, and surprised, like the creative part was great, of course. Like, I knew it would be, but I was really loving on the empowerment. I walked away with a different perspective and a different like fire in my soul or something like that. It was like all fired up. So it was good. Jenny says, my sister and I share scrapbooking. Oh my gosh, like that is so, yeah, I love those relationships. April says, Dolores makes amazing digital pages. She has skills. Yeah, so fun. This one was one about Ron and Hermione friends. That one was about the platform. This one was about friends, and these are my friends. I'm part of a ladies group called Beta Sigma Phi, Life Learning and Friendship. So scrapbooked about that. We had a day where we were inspired by the trolley and the treats and things that you enjoy. And I happen to be a lover of barbecue. I am so all over the barbecue. When we went to Texas, we went to the best barbecue place I have ever been to. It was amazing. Oh, we were in Grapevine. Somebody please, Danielle, do you remember the name of the barbecue place? You probably know. You're probably like, oh, I went there last week. Or like right before this quarantine started, like a month ago. Yeah, the barbecue, so good. Okay, so yeah, you can't share links to stuff in the comments. So, but yeah, you can share other things and Instagram, maybe that might be a good way to connect to. So yeah, scrapbooking about treats as inspired by the trolley, scrapbooking inspired by Hogwarts Castle, the Hard 8 barbecue. Thank you, Danelle. I knew you'd know. Sandy said, I made a friend start scrapbooking so I'd have someone to scrapbook with. Her heart is with sewing though. I sew with her, so it makes us both happy. I have converted a few friends in my days. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah, Lisa, we're kindred spirits. We get it. Oh, and anybody like that just makes me think of like Anne of Green Gables, kindred spirits. Hogwarts Castle. We were talking about what do you love about your home, because Hogwarts became like a home for Harry, and I love the chance to hang out with my nieces and nephews, reading books and super fun stuff. I did pages inspired by the Great Hall. What and like how this the ceiling of it is bewitched and it or enchanted, and it looks like the sky. And we scrapbooked a story about weather, the sky, or something about that you enjoy about nature. So Kathy says, I have a picture of the butterbeer recipe. I have tried butterbeer recipe. Kathy says, I love Anne of Green Gables. Yeah, me too. I still have not been to Prince Edward Island, and I so have to go. Yeah, oh, butterbeer. I didn't have it in this one, but I shared a page just the other day about my love of butterbeer. Oh my gosh, I love the gnomes. This paper photo play, it's called Tula and Norbert. That's the little gnome characters. So cute. And they just came out with a beach version. It's like a tropical gnomey version. I'm like, oh, I must have it. It's adorable. And actually, most of the paper doesn't even have gnomes on it. So if you're like, oh, what do I use those gnomes for? The paper was just gorgeous. Like, look at this plaid and like all of the papers. Like, I think there was 2 papers, like a cut apart sheet and one pattern that actually had gnomes, and the rest didn't actually have the gnomes. So it was very versatile. PEI is a must. I know, so good. Sheila says all our Texas barbecue is eaten around Austin. Never heard of Hard 8. We'd probably love it. It was so good. Like the lineups to get in there, and you're standing next to the smoker, so you're melting, and it's Texas, so you're melting, and it was summer, so you're melting. And I'm from Canada, so I'm already melting. But like the food was so worth it. It was like totally a good thing. And then the sorting hat. So I'm going to share this one a little bit. The sorting hat sorts students into the different schools. And so we talked about making a life-determining decision. What was it? Did you feel that your voice was heard, or was this a decision made for you? Did it feel like a big decision at the time, or did you realize its importance later in life? And this here was about when Elaine, this is Elaine, our former leader of ScrapHappy, when she announced that she wasn't going to be leading ScrapHappy anymore, I reached out to her with 20 reasons I would be an awesome ScrapHappy leader. And some of them are kind of cheeky, and some of them are just fun, and some of them are actually like based on like, hey, I have some skills too. And yeah, so I had created that. So I went back and I found the email. I was so happy that I could find the email so that I could share this page. And yep, use my super cute die cut. We did pages inspired by Professor Dumbledore. Yeah, April says, when you leave Heart 8s, you smell like smoke, but you don't care because it's so good. Sandy says, you guys, I'm sorting paper, and just now I came across this ancient paper with gnomes. Oh my gosh, who's it from? Like, what company had that? Oh my gosh. And April says, I have a miniature Anne doll. That from one of my mom's friends, both of them are gone now, brought back from Prince Edward Island. It sits on my scrap shelf next to my Copics. How sweet. Sandy says, Alice, was there a scrap strategy session yesterday, and can I see the video on the ScrapHappy site? I have just posted all of them, and I will send the email out right after this, because I just posted the scrap solutions, the scrap strategy. It was super good. We brought in Sherry Moore. She is a licensed psychologist here in Alberta, and she was talking to us. I had actually met her at the Teresa Collins events because she spoke there, and she talked with us about boundaries at that event, but I wanted her to talk to us about resiliency and anxiety. So we did a whole session with her about it, and it was so good. So good. So yeah, I'll send out the links to all of the replays because they are all up on the site. But if you go to the site now, I'm not 100% sure if the login is working because we're switching between the two membership platforms right now. But if you're logged in, you should be able to go under the members only tab, and you can see the scrap solutions, the scrap strategy, and the happy hour, and they should be linked right under there too, so you don't even have to wait for my links, so that you can just do it on your own if you like. Yeah, so super fun. Yeah, April says, I came into that one late. I'm looking forward to watching the replay of the part that I missed. Yeah, and she shared this one part talking about how struggle is what leads to resiliency. And she had this beautiful imagery where she talked about a butterfly escaping from a cocoon and how it struggles and fights to escape from the cocoon. And people see that and they're like, oh, let me help. So they're going to like try to help them out of the cocoon. And it actually doesn't work because they don't develop the strength that they need to go off and fly. And so sometimes through that struggle, that's how we grow and that's how we become stronger. And I thought it was just such a great image that she had shared with us down in Park City. And I'm like, we need to share that stuff. Please come and share. Like, I'm not an anxious person. I'm kind of like, okay, let's plan B, right? Like, I'll just find a new way. I'm looking for the happiness, right? I'm always looking for that. And I think that even I have felt anxious through this time. So it was time to, have somebody that could share a little bit of perspective on this. And I thought that was really good. April says, my middle name is Anne. When my mom read Anne of Green Gables, she apologized for not naming me April Ann with an E. Oh my gosh. Have you scrapbooked that story? That is such a good one. I sure hope you scrapbooked that. If not, Anne with an E. Hold on. I'm gonna take a sneak peek for you, April. And see if there is a prompt coming up in our load 520 where you are going to want to scrapbook that. Because if you haven't, that has to happen. So, yeah. Jacqueline says her middle name is Anne. So, with the E. See, all these things that lead to such good stories for our lives. And just so much fun. So this one was inspired by Dumbledore, and I talked about mentors, whether they know that they're my mentor or they don't know that they're my mentor. They've all taught me something about my online business. Stuff that was inspired by Professor Snape. And you're like, if you're in Harry Potter, you're like, how do you even make a page inspired by Professor Snape? This is inspired by Snape because we talked about somebody that you'll love always. Like, after all this time, always. And then we talked about the technique. Use black on your layout, but be sure to leave a little light. And I used that, and I actually scrapbooked about Christmas lights and my family being the light of my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, I brought that whole thing together. We scrapbooked about Quidditch, the sports, right? Like, we were inspired by the sports. We were inspired by golden stitches in the Gryffindor common room. All of these things. Sheila says, update. The husband doesn't look horrid. I didn't cry like last time that he trimmed it. You actually cried last time. Yeah, so fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were inspired by the Philosopher's Stone. We were inspired by so many things. This was day 18. Have I flipped past it already? We were inspired by what do you like to do to escape from your normal routine? Share a story of retreats and escapes. I love to escape with some Netflix and popcorn at the end of the night. And to kind of have, thinking about retreats and escapes, it was talking about kind of like secret passwords and stuff, right? And I kind of hid some little fun things in the background that I created when I embossed it. And it's like, I totally paused. And they're all like little things inspired by movies. Some Harry Potter, some Clueless, some Star Wars, some Legally Blonde, like lots of fun things. Princess Bride. Yeah. April says, Sheila, you need to scrapbook the beard. So fun. Lisa, she says, I have family in Nova Scotia. Oh my gosh. My heart is just breaking for Nova Scotia right now. If you guys don't know, they had a guy go on a rampage and he killed like 22 people. At least that's the last update. They were still updating the numbers. It's horrible. My heart just goes out to Nova Scotia. I have a friend from there, and instantly, like, I reached out to her. I'm like, tell me, like, how's your family? Like, how are your friends? And thankfully for her, everybody was okay, but there's a lot of people hurting in Nova Scotia, and I sure feel for them. April, my son can't keep up with shaving his face. I introduce him as my little son, Abe Lincoln. Thank you. I needed a little moment of lightness after that, because it's really affecting me. Just the whole month led to beautiful pages and stories that, like, this page. Okay, so let's just go for a second here. This one was inspired by the Philosopher's Stone, which makes the elixir of life, which will make the drinker immortal. So the story prompt read, would you like to live forever? What would you do? Talk about growing older and how life changes. Perhaps create a layout about an older person in your life. For technique, use old or vintage supply from your scrapbook stash, or use photos from different times that show change. So I took parts of that, right? And I kept all parts of it. And Kathy said that she has friends in Nova Scotia. She must check on them. It's devastating. Like, it was thinking of ones that we love. This is a picture of little Alice with my mom and my grandma. And I used this chance to create a page about, this generations, and how as I grow older, I find myself thinking of my grandmother and, losing her. And as my mom got to her age, and then now is like, it feels like I'm getting to the age that she was when we lost her. And just all of the things, right? I was able to tell like really good stories, and I kind of went deep, and you'll notice I had to print like tiny printing on here to get the full story on. But now, like, when I look back and I read this, it's powerful. It's a really strong page. And that was through load, right? Like, this is the magic that happens in the months when we have the load challenges. We just make fantastic pages that tell our stories, and they lead from different things that you just don't expect, right? This one, day 23, was inspired by the study habits of Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and it was like, whose study habits are yours most like? And I've already talked about that, so I found a different kind of story about me in school, and I was looking for something that kind of like sparked what I was going to tell, and I found a picture of my mom's grade 6 class, and we had the same teacher. So small town life, right? Like we both had the same teacher. So we both had Mrs. Keyser, and here's my mom in Mrs. Keyser's class, and here's me with Mrs. Keyser as my teacher. And I just thought that was so, like, what a great thing to scrapbook about. And that came from these prompts, right? And part of it said use books and light bulbs to represent learning and bright ideas. So I didn't use books, but I found this paper with the pencils, and I did bring the light bulbs into it. And yeah, I was able to really play with that little bit. Yeah, it was a couple of days ago. It wasn't today, but it's been, big thing happening. Oh, we're back to butterbeer. We've circled back to our firmer discussion. Butterbeer. It's like, how do you like it? Frozen? Ice cream? Regular? Yes. The answer was always yes. So I did get a Harry Potter page even snuck into the thing. And then this one was like taking me back, right? Like, this is old. Day 26. This one was about great feasts from the Great Hall. Oh, that is so my page. Not bossy. Yeah. I made this one because I said, I'm not bossy. I have leadership abilities. And then I found pictures of me leading my little brother's birthday party, right? I designed all their little games and put the little kid through that, and I just thought, so cute. Your brothers wouldn't agree with the not bossy thing. There's some shade in there. That's hilarious. Deidre says I need to try butterbeer. So think cream soda, but sweeter. With like yummy topping and just sweeter and creamier than cream soda, if that was a thing. So different pages that led me to tell some great stories and create pages about things that I just don't want to forget. And it was a super fun month of scrapbooking, and I think that that's the kind of thing that happens when we do the load challenges is we get these great pages created by the end of the month. And some days I don't have a pile that has a page for every day. Let's be real. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes I do. And either way, I just say, hey, like, I had a fun month of scrapbooking, whether I scrapped every day or not. But hopefully something that we talked about today will inspire you to look at some photos that you have or a story that you want to tell. Maybe it's about your Anne of Green Gables doll. Maybe it's about a haircut. Maybe it's about butterbeer. Maybe it's about something like another treat or something like that. Maybe it's about a favorite book that you've had. Maybe there's some kind of story that we've kind of talked about here today, and you said, oh, I have a story kind of like that, right? And there is a free session tonight. There is. So hopefully something like that inspired you to tell your story. So tonight's free session, I know, like, you want to hang out more? If you haven't had enough of me, I will let somebody else talk more tonight, actually. We are bringing in, let me find the right thing. Where is it? There we go. Yay. we are bringing in Sandy Boone. That's right. I'm pointing the wrong way again. Sandy Boone from 3 Room Studio, and she is going to show us how to create scenes with stamps. And I'm so excited. So if you are not on my email list, now's the time, because that email will go out 15 minutes before we go live, and you will have the email, and we will go live, and it will be a fun session to learn more about creating scenes. So get on the email list. Come and join us for the Scrap Smarter session. It is at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you're trying to convert times, 8 p.m. Eastern is 8 p.m. in New York. So put that into a time zone calculator. What time is 8 p.m. New York time or whatever? April says, I'm going to make a lid about toilet paper. So yes, join us for the Scrap Smarter session. Super fun. We always learn something, and you'll have the opportunity to see Sandy's presentation, but you'll also have the opportunity to ask her questions. So if you're like, what was that product you used? What color was that pen that you colored with? What was that thing that you did? Can you tell us how that works? Like, whatever your question is, like, we'll have the chance to ask her that. Daniela says, that's 2 a.m. in Germany. That might not be the best time for you. So the great thing is that these sessions are available still for free for 1 week after. One week. You get the replays available for 1 week, and then they go into our ScrapHappy vault, and they're just for our ScrapHappy members. So Daniela, you'll have access to this even after. Sheila says 2 a.m. is too late for me. Yeah, I'll confess I'm often up around that time, but even now I'm not like looking forward. I wouldn't want to be hosting at that time, but fortunately in my time zone it's 6 p.m. so it'll be working out just fine. Just fine. Sheila says, I was hoping the 3 Room Studio stamps that I ordered 2 weeks ago would have arrived by tonight, but no such luck. Yeah, shipping these days, it's been a little slow. Tanya says, that's 2 a.m. for me in South Africa. Yeah, the replay will be available. It's actually going to be right there at that link. The scraphappy.org/scrapsmarter will have like direct links so you can see the replay. And I will send out that stuff by email again so that you'd be like, hey, here's the direct link to the replay. And I happen to know that we're going to be posting it publicly on YouTube. And if you miss it, don't, because you might want to go and check it out. Not saying anything else, but sneak. Don't miss it. If you can be live, there's extra bonus in that too. So, there's good stuff. Lynn says February was my first load. And here, let me turn that off for a second so I can stop leaning out of the screen. Lynn says February was my first load, and I was so excited when I finished a page. It was the first time to have someone comment on my work, and weren't the comments wonderful? It was so sweet. I have to say, it is one of the things we always encourage people to go and leave comments on layouts, maybe 5 of them or something, right? It's not like you have to take a ton of time to go through and see every single page, but I really like that we share the comments because it is so nice to get that little pat on the back, that little bit of encouragement to help lift you up, because sometimes it gets hard, right? Sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you just need somebody to say I really like that, or I like that paper that you chose, or what a great photo, or I love the way that you brought that whole thing together, or, so there's a lot of really good things there, and I love the support. Sheila says it is on Facebook, right? I don't have one of those. It is not. We do have a group just for ScrapHappy members on Facebook, but we are actually bringing more and more of our stuff on site, and the whole load challenge happens on our scraphappy.org website. So it is all on board there. So you don't have to have Facebook at all to be part of it. So Yeah, won't miss out on anything. Did you just have a birthday, Alice? I didn't, but you see the cards that are all back there. So let me go right here. I got a beautiful Easter card, and I made the 2 cards up top during one of the live things here that we did this month. And then I've got like some other super sweet cards. So I didn't just have a birthday, but I did just have an anniversary. So that was super good. My husband, oh, he stressed me out. I had this like fizzy juice. It's kind of like a, sparkling apple juice, but it was Saskatoon berry, so it was super good. And it's kind of like in a champagne type bottle, right? Where you got the little cork thing that pops out the top. Well, he's like holding it. I'm like, you're gonna get me. Like, so it's like super great. You see the pictures. It's like, like so bad. Don't dare you screenshot that. Don't you be that mean to me, okay? And yeah, it was so crazy. Sandy says the comments are always so kind. It gives me a thrill when someone comments. I'm like a little kid. I know. And that's why like I try to get in there and leave as many comments as I can. And I know that people have been so good. We actually brought out a new prize list time, and it was based on commenting. So that was extra fun. So people are like, yeah. And yeah. April says, even if I'm not making layouts, I try to go and comment on layouts. And then you have access to go and look at them after, but it's so good to see them, like, then to leave those comments. So, yeah, super good. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys have just made my day here today. Again, you're like my little rock stars for being here with me. If you want to connect more with me online, you can hit me up on Instagram at Alice Bowl. And do not forget to take part in this. I'm going to put this right over top of my face here. Scrap Smarter tonight. Don't miss the Scrap Smarter stuff. So come and join us for that. It will be so fun. It's just in a couple of hours. Like, what is that? Like less than 3 hours from now, we're going live with Scrap Smarter. So that is happening. It doesn't have to be a screenshot. You'll probably have to share it on a layout later. Oh, you know me. I was like, look at this horrible thing. When, that would be a prompt, right? What is the worst picture somebody has ever taken of you? It's like, I took it of myself. Saskatoon berries or June berries here are delicious. Oh, yes. Saskatoon berries, some of my fave. You get so inspired by other people's pages. I actually keep a list during load of pages that when I see how somebody else used the prompt, it makes me think, I need to make a page like that. So I actually keep a list, and then it's like extra stuff. And it says, you're so fun, Alice. So thank you. My husband's like, you laugh too much. I'm like, no, I'm actually having fun. This is why we do it. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me for this session. Hopefully you'll be back and we will learn more from Sandy. I will tell you guys, like, this is the base that I made, and my goal right now is to actually sit down and scrapbook right now, and I'm gonna turn this into the actual like completed page and be able to show it tonight. So wish me luck. I haven't scrapbooked for a couple days. I've been working on getting load ready. So yeah, this is the plan. I want to have this layout done using the scene that I created, and then we're gonna learn all the things that I did wrong when I did this. Although we found out some of them as I was making the page. It was hilarious, and yeah, and then we'll get to see like all of Sandy's tips, and like her stuff is amazing. I cannot wait for you guys to see. So talk to you later. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you give me that thumbs up on your way out the door, thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow. I have a special thing in store tomorrow. It's not the stencils. We're going to do that on Friday, so you officially know. Stencils will be Friday, but I have something else special for tomorrow, and we're bringing on a guest, so it's going to be awesome. Okay, Sheila says thanks again. See you everyone tonight or tomorrow. Awesome. Bye, everyone.